There's a reason Napoleon Hill opened Think and Grow Rich with desire, not talent, not opportunity, not luck. Desire. Because in every success story, before the fortune, before the fame, before the breakthrough, there was a fire. A burning want so strong that it made everything else look small. And here's the part most people get wrong. This isn't casual wanting. This isn't I hope someday I get it. This is wanting so badly that you refuse to live without it. It's wanting with the kind of intensity that rearranges your schedule, your habits, and your priorities until nothing stands between you and the thing you're chasing. Hill called it a definiteness of purpose, a desire that is so clear and so consuming that it shapes every decision you make. Think about it. The great industrialists, inventors, leaders, and visionaries didn't wander into greatness by accident. They locked their eyes on a goal, felt the heat of that desire in their bones, and then allowed it to guide them like a compass through every obstacle. The world may call it obsession, they called it necessary, but here's what most never realize. Weak desires bring weak results. If your goal is negotiable, if you'll settle for something close enough, life will hand you the consolation prize. Only when your desire burns bright enough to light your path through failure, rejection, and setbacks will it have the power to manifest. That's why a burning want is more than motivation, it's survival fuel for your dream. It's what pushes you to make one more call, stay up one more hour, take one more shot, long after the average person has given up. And here's the magic. Desire reshapes your future because it reshapes you. It makes you sharper, hungrier, more resourceful. Suddenly, things you once thought were impossible become non-negotiable. That's why the size of your desire determines the size of your future. Small want, small life. Big want, big life. It's that simple. Look at Howard Schultz, the man who turned Starbucks from a small coffee shop in Seattle into a global empire. When Schultz first discovered the Italian espresso culture, he knew instantly what he wanted, to bring that experience to America. The problem? No one else shared his vision. Investors didn't care. Banks turned him away. Even the original owners of Starbucks resisted his ideas. But his desire wasn't a polite wish, it was a non-negotiable truth in his mind. He worked tirelessly, knocking on over 200 investor doors before one finally opened. That burning want reshaped not just his future, but the coffee culture of an entire nation. Or consider Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty, abused as a child, and told by countless people that she wasn't fit for television, Oprah had every reason to settle for less. But her desire to connect, to inspire, and to use her voice for change burned hotter than every insult thrown at her. She didn't just want a career, she wanted impact. And that desire carved her path from a small-town news anchor to one of the most influential women in the world. Napoleon Hill himself spent 25 years pursuing his own burning desire to distill the success principles of the world's greatest achievers into a book. He interviewed over 500 of the most successful people of his time, from Henry Ford to Andrew Carnegie. Do you think he did that out of casual interest? No. He did it because he was driven by a vision so strong it survived decades of rejection, financial struggle, and personal challenges. And because he refused to let that desire die, Think and Grow Rich was born, a book that has transformed millions of lives. Desire is the architect of your destiny. Without it, your actions have no direction. With it, every step moves you closer to your goal. But here's the truth. Your desire will be tested. Life will try to water it down, people will try to talk you out of it, and there will be moments where the easiest choice will be to let it fade. That's the crossroads where most people quit, and the few who persist write history. If your desire is big enough, you won't just shape your future, you'll reshape the world around you. Because people follow fire, they can't resist it. When you burn bright enough, opportunities, allies, and resources start appearing, almost as if the universe itself conspires to help you. That's not magic, it's the magnetic pull of unwavering desire. The difference between those who live average lives and those who live extraordinary ones is not intelligence, luck, or privilege. It's the heat of their desire. Average people quit when they're tired. The exceptional keep going until the dream is reality. That's the power of a burning want. It doesn't ask permission, it doesn't need constant pep talks, and it doesn't vanish in the face of hardship. It becomes part of who you are. Think of your desire as a living flame. If you feed it every day with action, with focus, with belief, it grows hotter, brighter, more unstoppable. If you neglect it, it flickers, weakens, and eventually dies. And here's the truth. Napoleon Hill hammered into the minds of millions. The future you're dreaming of is not waiting for the right time. It's waiting for you to want it badly enough to claim it now. Every empire, every invention, every work of art that has changed the world began as nothing more than desire. Airplanes existed first in the desire of the Wright brothers. Light bulbs existed first in the desire of Edison. Freedom existed first in the desire of every leader who fought for it. Before reality bends, desire has to burn. So here's your challenge. Stop treating your dreams like hobbies. Stop holding them at arm's length, as if protecting yourself from disappointment. Choose one thing that you want so deeply it makes you restless. Make it so vivid in your mind that you can smell it, hear it, and taste it. Then commit. Truly commit to chasing it without apology, without compromise, without retreat. Because the truth is, the size of your desire will decide the size of your life. And if your want is strong enough, no force on earth can stop you from turning it into reality. But here's the part most people never understand. Desire isn't just about what you want to have. It's about the person you're willing to become to get it. Because when you set a goal so big, so magnetic, it forces you to evolve. Your habits start to change. Your standards rise. You can no longer tolerate mediocrity in your thinking, your work, or your relationships. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, they're no longer chores, they're fuel. Every obstacle becomes a test, and every test becomes proof that you still want it badly enough to keep going. And the deeper your desire burns, the less you care about instant results. The weak give up when they don't see quick wins, but those with true desire understand something crucial. The future is already theirs. It's just waiting for time to catch up. That's why they keep moving forward, even when no one is watching, even when the scoreboard looks empty. They've already claimed the victory in their mind. Think about Elon Musk in the early days of SpaceX. He didn't just want to build rockets. He wanted to make humanity a multiplanetary species. That's not a goal you chase casually. It's one that eats at you, keeps you awake at night, and makes you willing to risk everything. And he did. The first 3 rocket launches failed, burning through hundreds of millions of dollars. One more failure, and SpaceX would have collapsed. But that 4th launch succeeded, and the rest is history. Musk didn't make it because he was lucky. He made it because his desire to achieve his vision outweighed every setback. Your burning want doesn't have to be global, but it does have to be personal. It has to mean something so deeply to you that quitting feels like betrayal. Maybe it's building a business that frees your family from debt. Maybe it's writing a book that will outlive you. Maybe it's hitting a level of mastery in your craft that no one can ignore. Whatever it is, make it yours. Own it. Obsess over it. Because desire is not polite. It's relentless. And if you feed it, it will remake your world. And here's the final truth. You don't get to have the life you want by trying. You get it by deciding, by saying, "This is mine," and then proving it with every action you take. The world doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards those who want something badly enough to keep going until there's no choice but for it to become real. So I'll leave you with this. Every great success story you've ever heard began with someone somewhere who decided they wanted something so much that impossible wasn't a warning, it was a challenge. They weren't the smartest, they weren't the luckiest. They were the ones who wanted it more and who were willing to endure every rejection, every failure, every late night and early morning until the world finally gave in. And now, it's your turn. You can keep telling yourself you'll start someday, or you can make today the day you decide to light the match. You don't need permission. You don't need the perfect plan. You need a desire so fierce it drowns out the noise of doubt and fear. Because the moment you stop negotiating with your dream and start demanding it from yourself, you've already stepped onto the path of achievement. Napoleon Hill said the starting point of all achievement is desire. Not talent, not money, not connections. Desire. Without it, the best strategies in the world are useless. With it, even the most impossible goals become inevitable. So ask yourself right now, how badly do you want the life you say you want? If the answer is more than anything, then stop waiting. Burn the ships. Commit fully. And don't stop until your reality looks exactly like the vision in your mind. Because in the end, the size of your desire will always be the size of your destiny. Here's what they don't tell you about desire. It's not always loud and fiery from the start. Sometimes it begins as a whisper, an idea you can't shake, a vision that appears in your mind when you're supposed to be focused on other things. It might not even make sense at first, but it lingers. And with each day you feed it, that whisper grows into a roar. That's how empires are built. That's how personal revolutions begin. But most people ignore that whisper. They trade it for comfort. They tell themselves they'll get to it when life is easier, when they have more money, when the timing is perfect. And here's the dangerous truth. That perfect time never comes. The comfort zone will keep you warm while your dreams freeze to death. Napoleon Hill knew that desire is the great separator. It's the dividing line between those who wish and those who will. A wish is cheap. Anyone can wish. But a will is expensive. It demands your time, your focus, your discipline, your ability to take hits and keep moving. And that's why so few ever reach their highest potential, because they never turn a casual want into an unbreakable will. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. A man with a weak desire would have quit after 10 tries, maybe 50. But Edison's burning want wasn't for the fame or the fortune. It was to solve a problem that would change the world. He once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is desire at its purest, the refusal to accept defeat as final. And here's where most people trip. They think desire alone is enough, but desire without action is just a fantasy. The bridge between wanting and having is built with persistence, resilience, and the willingness to adapt when the plan falls apart. If your desire is strong enough, you'll build that bridge no matter how many storms tear it down. The beauty of a burning desire is that it starts to work on you. It makes you uncomfortable in your old life. It changes the way you see yourself. You begin to carry yourself differently, speak differently, make decisions differently, because deep down you're no longer the person who's trying. You're the person who is becoming. The truth is, once you lock onto a burning desire, life will test you, not once, not twice, but over and over again. It's almost as if the universe is asking, do you really want this, or is this just another passing fantasy? These tests come disguised as failure, as rejection, as long periods of nothing happening. And this is where the majority quit. Not because they lacked skill, not because they lacked opportunity, but because their desire wasn't strong enough to carry them through the silence and the setbacks. That's why you must learn to love the work even when no one is clapping. You must love the process even when it feels endless. You must want it so deeply that the idea of walking away feels like tearing out a part of your own soul. Because when your desire is that strong, the journey becomes inevitable. It's no longer a question of if you'll make it, only when. Napoleon Hill warned against lukewarm wants. He said a weak desire brings weak results, and that's a universal law. A lukewarm want says, I'll try until it's inconvenient. A burning desire says, I'll keep going even when it's unbearable. It's the same difference between someone who wants to get fit and someone who must reclaim their health because their life depends on it. That must changes everything. It changes your priorities, your energy, your habits. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She didn't just desire to be successful. She had a hunger to rise above poverty, abuse, and rejection. That desire didn't care that she was a young black woman in an industry dominated by men at the time. It didn't care about the statistics stacked against her. She wanted it badly enough to work harder, stay longer, learn faster, and show up when others gave up. Today, she's not just successful, she's an icon. And here's what you have to understand. When you want something badly enough, you stop asking if you can do it and start asking how you're going to do it. That single shift in thinking opens doors you never even saw before. Resources appear, people appear. Opportunities appear, but they only reveal themselves to the ones who've already committed in their hearts. Desire is the spark, but sparks alone don't build fires. Once you feel that heat inside you, you have to give it structure, fuel, and direction. This is where so many dreamers lose their way. They confuse feeling motivated with making progress. Motivation is temporary. Desire is constant, but without a plan, it will burn out like an untended flame. Napoleon Hill said it clearly. Every human who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. But wishing will not bring riches. Desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession. Planning definite ways and means to acquire it, and backing those plans with persistence will bring riches. So here's the formula. Step 1. Make your desire specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Define what success looks like for you in concrete detail, the number in your bank account, the kind of work you do, the people you surround yourself with, the lifestyle you live. Paint the picture so vividly that your mind believes it's already yours. Step 2. Write it down. Not once every single day. The act of putting it on paper turns it from a vague hope into a physical declaration. It tells your brain, this is real, this is important, this is happening. Step 3. Build your plan, even if it's imperfect. People waste years waiting for the perfect strategy. Here's a secret. It doesn't exist. Start with the plan you have and refine it as you go. The real power isn't in starting perfectly, it's in starting relentlessly. Step 4. Protect your environment. Desire is fragile in its early stages, and the wrong people can smother it before it grows. Surround yourself with people who fuel your fire, not those who drain it. If they laugh at your goals, good. Let their doubt become your fuel. And step 5, persistence. The unsexy, unglamorous part that most people skip. This is where 90% of your growth happens. When you hit walls, when things slow down, when nothing seems to be working, that's when you double down, not back off. The truth? Desire doesn't get you there alone. But when you pair a burning want with relentless action, you become unstoppable. not because the road is easy, but because you refuse to stop walking it. Picture this. It's late at night. The world is quiet, but your mind is loud. You can see the life you want in your head, the freedom, the success, the confidence, the ability to take care of the people you love without worry. It's so vivid you can almost touch it. But here's the cold reality. That vision is on a timer. If you don't move, it fades. Not because it wasn't possible, but because you let it die in the waiting room of your life. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine you wake up 5 years from now and every single detail you once dreamed of is real. The bank account is there, the lifestyle is there, the freedom is there, and all of it happened because of a decision you made today, not tomorrow, not when things calm down, but now. That's the power of a burning desire paired with relentless action. It changes the entire trajectory of your life in ways you can't yet measure. And here's the thing. Every person who's ever achieved greatness, whether it's Elon Musk building rockets, J.K. Rowling writing Harry Potter while broke, or Michael Jordan training after every loss, they all had that one defining moment where they said, I refuse to live without this. That moment is available to you right now. So the question isn't, do you have a desire? The real question is, do you have a desire strong enough to pay the price for it? The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the times when no one believes in you, because that's the currency of success. If you're willing to pay it, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. And if you're listening to this and something inside you is screaming yes, then you already know what you need to do. Shut down the excuses, shut down the waiting. Fan that spark into a wildfire and start moving toward it like your life depends on it, because it does. Listen carefully. There will never be a perfect moment to start. No magical alignment of time, money, energy, and opportunity will come knocking at your door. That's a myth sold to keep you comfortable. The perfect moment is the moment you decide you're done waiting. You have two choices in life. You can live as the person who wishes they had tried, or as the person who knows they gave everything. One leads to regret, the other to legacy. And the difference between them is not luck, it's not talent. It's the size of your desire and your refusal to quit. Napoleon Hill wasn't just writing about theory. He studied hundreds of the most successful people in the world. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie, and they all shared the same secret. They wanted it so badly they bent reality to make it happen. They treated failure like a stepping stone, not a wall. They refused to let time, money, or the opinions of others dictate the size of their dream. So I'll ask you right now, while this is still fresh in your mind, what's your burning desire? Not the safe one you tell people when they ask about your goals. I mean the one that scares you. The one that makes your heart race because you know it would change everything. Write it down. Decide that nothing, and I mean nothing, will stop you. And then start today. Because the day you let your desire drive your every thought and action, that's the day the world starts rearranging itself in your favor. You already have the fire. Now it's time to feed it until it lights up your entire life. Here's my challenge to you. Right now, before you scroll away, before you get distracted, I want you to declare your burning desire publicly. Not next week, not tomorrow, now. Why? Because when you speak it out loud or put it in writing, you give it power. You turn it from a private thought into a public commitment, and that changes everything. So go down to the comments and type this exact sentence. My burning desire is Basazai, and I will not stop until it's mine. Fill in that blank with the thing that matters most to you. The thing you know in your gut is your destiny. And here's the best part. When you put it here, you're planting a flag. You're making it real. And you're surrounding yourself with other people who are doing the same. That's how movements start. 5 years from now, when your dream is real, you'll be able to look back at that comment and say, that was the day I decided. So, what's it going to be? Another day of someday? Or the day you drew the line in the sand and stepped into the life you were meant to live? If desire is the starting point, then the next piece is something Hill called faith. Not in the religious sense, but as a state of absolute, unshakable belief in yourself and your goal. Think about it. Every single achievement in human history began twice. First in someone's mind, then in reality. The Wright brothers flew in their heads long before they left the ground. Steve Jobs saw the iPhone before the first line of code was written. That's faith in action. The ability to see the invisible and trust it so fiercely that the world has no choice but to catch up. Here's the truth. Nobody tells you. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or resources. They fail because they never fully believe they can win. They treat their goal like a lottery ticket instead of a guarantee. And that doubt seeps into their actions. They work half-heartedly. They hesitate. They quit at the first setback. Faith is the antidote to that. And Napoleon Hill gave us a method to build it, even if you don't have it yet. Constant, deliberate auto-suggestion. You repeat your goal to yourself daily, with conviction as if it's already yours. You see it, you feel it, you live it in your imagination until your mind accepts it as fact. Because once your mind accepts it, your actions align automatically. It's not magic, it's mental conditioning. The same way an athlete trains their body, you can train your mind to expect success instead of fearing failure. And when you expect success, you act like it's inevitable, and the world starts bending toward you. Faith is not just a feeling, it's a decision. It's the act of saying, I will win, before you have a single shred of evidence. Most people are waiting for proof before they believe. Winners do the opposite. They believe first, and that belief creates the proof. Picture a bridge covered in fog. You can't see the other side, but you take the first step anyway. Why? Because you trust the bridge is there. Faith works the same way. You can't see every step of your journey, but you trust that each one will appear when you need it. Here's what Napoleon Hill understood. Your subconscious mind doesn't care whether what you feed it is true or false. It simply accepts it. If you tell yourself every day that you're unlucky, unworthy, or destined to fail, your mind will serve up evidence to match. But if you tell yourself with emotion and repetition that you are capable, deserving, and unstoppable, your mind will just as quickly start making that true. That's why Hill insisted that you write down your goal, speak it out loud every morning and night, and imagine it in detail as if it already exists. Not because you're wishing, but because you're programming your mind to operate at the level required to achieve it. And here's the part most people miss. Faith is not built by sitting still. Every small action you take toward your goal strengthens it. You make one phone call, you push through one fear, you put in one extra hour, and each of those actions is proof to yourself that you're serious. The more proof you give yourself, the stronger your belief becomes. Soon, what once felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. And that's when something incredible happens. Opportunities you never saw before start showing up. Not because the universe suddenly decided to help you, but because you finally trained your mind to recognize them. So here's the truth. Without faith, every obstacle looks like a wall. With faith, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Without faith, you stop the first time something goes wrong. With faith, you adapt, you push, you fight, and you win. Your dreams don't need you to be perfect. They don't need you to know every step. They just need you to believe so completely that quitting is no longer an option. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Faith is the only known antidote for failure." And if you let that sink in, you'll realize the moment you commit to believing in yourself with absolute certainty, you've already won. The rest is just catching up. So write it down, speak it out loud, see it in your mind, and walk every single day like your dream is already yours. Because the day your faith becomes unshakable, the world will move mountains for you.